Siempre yo pago por todo. Siempre. Ella dice esta semana.
Con sus millones.
Ella dice esta
Con sus
semana.
millones. Sí. ¿Cuánto es mi pasión, Yohan? ¿Cuándo yo puedo estar? Tóxico.
What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this really quick conversation about Danielle and Johan. Okay, so I came across this video where Danielle and Johan are riding around. It looks like they're in the Dominican Republic, and they're just two peas in a pod, happy as can be together, which is fine because they are married. And so we all have to be happy for them if they're happy for themselves, if they were able to fix their issues or overcome whatever challenges they had in their marriage, and now they're back together, or they reconciled and everything is hunky-dory. Fine. But I just can't imagine why either one of them would want to be with the other after seeing how hard they tried to destroy each other on the 90 Day Fiance The Other Way Tell All from last year. Not the one that just ended, but I think it was the one from last year. 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, I think it was. Now, of course, everyone's been talking about how a lot of these couples are fake. None of this is real, et cetera, et cetera. Most likely, it probably is. You know, they probably were always happy together and they just created fake drama for ratings, for the show, for money, for clout, etc. But it just makes no sense to me to want to destroy your spouse or give the illusion of destroying your spouse. And then y'all are like back together. That just boggles my mind because your girl Danielle was going so hard in trying to convince everybody that Yohan was the worst human on earth for whatever the hell he put her through. So I remember when they were on the tell-all, she had revealed that Yohan had been cheating on her with multiple women, that he had been bringing women to the apartment that they shared, which was basically her apartment, because she constantly reminded us how she paid for the rent all by herself. She paid for the bills all by herself. Yohan didn't know how to do anything, didn't know how to pay for anything, that he was very irresponsible with what little money he made. She was constantly emasculating him and she was constantly treating him like a child who didn't know any better, the way that she talked to him, the way that she treated him, getting on his case about not knowing how to manage money. He had wanted to start his own business. I think it was like a butchery. And she basically like tore that plan apart and told him how it wasn't going to work because his business plan was completely stupid and idiotic. She wouldn't let him, she didn't give him a lot of freedom. She had a lot of control over him. And then on top of all that, she had met up with her ex-boyfriend who came to visit her in the Dominican Republic. And she expected Yohan to be okay with that. And he really wasn't okay with that. But she was kind of like, hey, I can do what I want. You're just going to have to accept it. If I want to go out and spend time with my ex, you know, you just have to deal with it. And then on the tell-all, she had brought all this evidence of him talking to other women. She even, they even showed or had on the tell-all a woman that Yohan was trying to hook up with. And, you know, her and Danielle were like BFFs on the tell-all because they were both in cahoots in trying to take Yohan down. And Yohan was very angry on the tell-all because she was painting a very negative picture of him, and he was denying all of these allegations. I think he was denying all the allegations. I think he did deny cheating on her or trying to reach out to other women, but she had evidence of it. She had like text messages of him communicating with other women. And like I said, she claimed that he would bring other women to the apartment. And I'm thinking to myself, you went through all of that. You went through all of that just to end up back with him. And then in that little video that I showed y'all, she's talking about how he paid for everything that week. And I think Yohan in Spanish, I could be wrong because my Spanish is non-existent, but I think Yohan responds with, I always pay for everything. So she thinks it's a flex that he paid for whatever, a couple of meals here and there for the week. I guess to justify why she would come back to him, because like one of the areas of contention was him not making enough money, not bringing in enough financially into the relationship, and she was paying for everything. So I guess now she thinks it's a flex that he paid for, I don't know, groceries or whatever for the week. And I'm thinking to myself, Danielle, that is far from a flex. A flex would be this man maybe, paying, that trend that's going on TikTok right now about the men who pay for the mortgage and their wives don't have to pay for anything. That would be a flex. Why don't you do a TikTok trend where you're telling him that you can't pay for the mortgage this month and he's looking at you crazy like, you don't have to pay for the mortgage. I pay for the mortgage. Why don't you show us the house that he bought you, the cars that he bought you, the expensive designer name brand clothes that he bought you, the vacations that he's paid for? That would be the real flex, Danielle. Not him paying for a couple of things for that week, unless I completely misunderstood the video. But I think that's what she was bragging about, that he paid for stuff for that week. So it's just, to me, it's just I'm just so confused. I'm just so confused on how they went so hard to destroy each other, which is fine because, marriages go through ups and downs. All marriages go through challenges, and that's fine. But to try to destroy each other on a public platform like that, on a television show, to try to convince everybody that he's horrible, he's a cheater, he's broke, he treats me bad, he's mentally abusive, and now you're back with him. Yeah, I'm looking at you kind of funny, Danielle. I'm looking at you real funny. And then Yohan, let me get on you for a hot quick second. This woman emasculated you. She put you down. She criticized you. She controlled you. But then again, I can see how Yohan is getting something out of this. He's getting a sugar mama out of this relationship. He's getting a woman that not only is supporting him, but also supporting his family. Because that was also very important to him, that his family is also taken care of. So I can see what Johan is getting out of this. I'm not quite sure, other than the obvious, I'm not quite sure what Danielle is getting out of this, because you don't have to put up with all of this if the only thing that you think he's only good for, like, girl, you don't have to put up with all of this. Y'all can have y'all's little moments, your little hookups and your little encounters. He could be a little, what do they call it? Your little sneaky link. But to devote your whole life to someone who you claim was destroying your life. And then her friends had come to the Dominican to visit them during the show. And both of her friends were like, no, ma'am. No, this is not it. This is not the one for you. So I'm very perplexed on how she can be so braggadocious about the fact that she's back with this man. Like, why don't y'all just reconcile in privacy? Like, why are you broadcasting it that you came right back to the man that you claimed was abusive? And when I was doing my reviews on that particular season, I was like, she needs to calm the hell down. She needs to tone it down and be a little bit more respectful to the man that she chose to marry. I'm just like befuddled, absolutely befuddled. Not so much that they got back together, okay, because that's how it is. People will go through some stuff in their relationships and they're back together and they break up and they're back together. Not so much that, but the fact that she's very like show offy about how they're back together now. Like, girl, who are you trying to convince? How she's like, so, oh, and he paid for everything this week. Girl, bye. No, ma'am. So I just wanted to give my little 2 cents that nobody asked for on Johan and Danielle's current relationship status, because I was so confused about what the hell was going on and what I was seeing. But it was entertaining. It was funny as hell. I did bust out laughing when I saw them together again. And I hope that they're not together again to appear on another season of 90 Day Fiance, because I can't and I won't. No. No, unacceptable. We're not having it. No. I hope that they are reconciled and happy together over in the Dominican. Please continue to live your normal, regular lives as a married couple and stay off my television set. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.